Yo, yo, I'm Jimmy. This is my garden. Thanks for joining me. Got up today, came outside, and had a jar of sunflower seeds I threw around for all the birdies and the chipmunks and the squirrels. Took my shoes off, came and planted myself in the garden with all the plants. That's how I want to start every day. You know. So I want to talk about this balance. How there's already a perfect balance happening around you, and you're just not recognizing it. You've got all these distractions. You've been raised to not look at the perfect balance around you. You've got all these things psychically driven into you, spell casted into you to blind you to the most obvious that's going on right in front of you. And just being out here, it's kind of inspired me to have this talk because it's something I feel, it's something I've known, but it's very hard to put in a concept, put into words. I think a lot of us kind of know this, like everything's kind of perfect, it's whole. You gotta have all this crazy, evil, bad nonsense going on to have all the good, beautiful things going on. It's a perfect creation. It doesn't mean it's not a painful creation sometimes. It doesn't mean it's not a happy thing sometimes. I mean, that's the beauty of life. It's all love. Everybody's in love with something. You know, even if it's control, whatever. You know, it's just, there's no point in being here unless you're loving on something. If you're loving the bad or you're loving the good, it's all perfect in a way. It is all based on love. If you can tap into that and see it. The sun loves me right now. I love the sun back. Didn't really need to get married or anything. We just naturally love each other, right? I want to talk about the balance between the earth and the sky, the balance between your body and your mind, the masculine and the feminine of it, you know, the sky, Father Sky, Mother Earth. And you got to realize where the plants are meeting, where the ground is. You have heaven and earth meeting every day, right on the surface. Every day, it's the sun, the toroidal field, if you know what that is, you know, all of the energetic waves, the magnetic waves going north. You know, it's like an ocean that you cannot see that's flowing around us. And then you've got Mother Earth holding us together, solid and still, like the stillness in night while you sleep. And every day there's the perfect marriage of the sky and the surface. And it's creating all these things for us. It's creating all these beautiful forms. And I've planted myself in it today. I like to think that everything in the physical realm is an analogy for something intangible inside of us that we're trying to discover, we're trying to tap into, we're trying to play with, we're just trying to figure it out. All this external stuff is just a reflection of what's going on deep inside all of us. And then each of us are sort of acting out that situation. It's like my situation. I'm out here in the garden, building the cabin, building a business. Like, my inner world is like, I want to be free. I want freedom. It's like on fire to be free. So that is what's been happening outside of me. Is I've been trying to create the freedoms that are in here, that have always been in here. Just like I could think of the opposing side of the duality of this place, and there are people in suits going around. They do not want freedom. They want control, and they want to control the control. Like, they want to be the controllers of other people and play them off against each other, play games with their lives. I want freedom for all in a peaceful realm. Just for a generation or two at least. Like, we get back to some peace, then you guys can go have your fantasy wars again. I just think it's kind of it's what everybody wants to express. That's what happens here. You have so much power here. And I'm kind of starting to kind of feel it again. Feel the real power. The real things, The real connection. And a lot of it is, you got to have one foot planted in this physical space, one foot nailed down, as some people say. And then the other foot moving forward, floating in the sky. You got to realize you're multidimensional. There's a physical reality here mixing with a infinite creative reality that can't be seen, but it's created through space and time. And how it's already in perfect balance. I didn't need to fix anything. I didn't need to do anything. I just needed to find out who I was and play my character, play my part. And that's all I want everybody to do. Even the bad guys, they're playing their part. And it's a stupid part to play, I think. But I'm happy that they're playing their part. How else would we have these amazing journeys? How else would we struggle, right? How else would you put yourself to the test? Would we just create a heaven realm and then, like, there is no bad that can happen? Which, you got to understand, we create good, we create bad. It's always changing. There really is no good and bad. It's all relative to the situation, to the circumstance. I mean, I give you easy examples. How good and bad. Somebody comes into your house with a gun. Pretty obvious it's bad. They come with a gun and they take something with the gun. But on the flip side, they come into your house and you have the gun. And you say, get the fuck out of here. It's the same thing. It's just a gun. But in one case, the gun was going to be bad because the person was bad. But in the other case, the person was defending their property, their home. They were using it for good. And it's like, I'm talking about a gun, but you could really apply that to the whole human being and how I could do good or I could do bad in every scenario that I'm in, every single situation. I'm just a tool, of my, I don't even know what to call it. I don't know. Everybody says higher self, but it's all kind of mixed together at once. So I don't like to separate it out. Like there's I watched this TV series called Severance. I would encourage you to watch it. It is really good, but it's just about how these people have severed their minds. And basically they took a job to where they go into the job and their basically memory is erased. And while they're at their job, they have a whole new altered personality, a whole new altered ego. And then when they leave the job, they snap out of it and they come back to who they were. Like it is, oh man, it's a really great psychological thriller. You like Fight Club or shows that really make you think. This Severance, I watched in like 2 days. I watched season 1 and 2, one after the other. I was so gripped by the psychological story going on, there. And what I was talking about, how we're multidimensional, and how we can have multiple personalities, multiple parts of us that show up here in this realm. And how it's like, I don't want to think that way anymore about how I'm severed and how my higher self is up there separate from me. It's like, no, it's like a flow. Like it's all just flowing through me back up to, it's like from down here up to there. Like it's a connected thing is all I'm trying to say. But how in the past I have severed myself from that connection. And my character here in the earth thought it could have all the answers and thought it could just mathematically work it all out, and scientifically explains eternity. It's just, God, what an idiot. But it's like you're surrounded by idiots in this age. Don't feel dumb, don't feel stupid because you fell for a trick here. It had to happen. I had to fall for so many tricks to finally get good at spotting the tricks. I mean, that's what's going on here. It's the big play we're having. You gotta stumble and fall. You gotta crawl before you walk. It's just everything in your childhood, everything in the garden. It's all an analogy for the growth of your life and these experiences and how you've gotta, it's gotta be a certain way for a bit until you finally snap out of it. Kind of rhymes. So if, I'm talking about this combination of the sky and the earth coming together as one, and how all the beautiful plants, everything is created by that energy. All the life you see, it's a connection that creates life. And I'm trying to use that as sort of an analogy for your life and how you can connect yourself to these deep things. You can be the cosmic wind. You can be the messenger of the gods. There's all these ways to put it. I just like to say you're in balance, with eternity and the temporary. Like, this is a temporary situation, but you live on forever. And it's just why things are so screwed up. People don't want to accept the magic that surrounds them. I don't get it. I've always been looking for the magic, and now I'm like feeling it and creating it and really realizing it. So I've had a natural proclivity to magic, but I think every kid does. Every kid is magical. It's just been sucked out of them, beat out of them. In closing, I want to talk about how to find this balance, that I'm getting closer to. It's an everyday thing here to stay balanced. It's not, you don't just have the answer and then you go and you're balanced forever. It's like you're juggling. It's like you got to be a clown juggling the balls here constantly. But my advice, if you really want to find this balance between your body, your mind, your higher self, is, the best words I can come up with, your divine self. It's a slow process. There's no fast answers. There's going to be epiphanies. There's going to be like, whoa, that idea hit me. But you've got to sit with that idea for days, weeks, months, years even, for some of these ideas that you've heard to start making sense. It's not a fast, quick thing. And that's why it's so hard for people to be at any balance in this age. They've been trained out of the slow, relaxing life. It's a very slow process here. I just think that's the beauty in it, though. You never had to do anything. You never had to work for it. The balance happens if you let it. That's all. It's just slowing your life down enough to get all the illusions out of the way. You can finally have a clearer picture of what's going on here. Instead of trying to spin the mind up and explain it with words, you start to feel the balance. You start to become the balance. If you're somebody who's in the middle of people's things all the time, like you don't take sides, like you're just trying to find peace between these sides, I think you get what I'm saying. A lot of us are caught in between two worlds a lot of times. And it's like we have somebody on this side that we love and somebody on this side that we love, but they fight against each other when they're together. But when you're with one of them, you can see how they've been spun out of balance. So I guess this is a message to all the peacemakers. You already know this, though. That's the thing. You've already been doing it your whole life in all these different ways. But it's a slow thing. You gotta sit with it. You've gotta live with it. It's not like you go on a 12-step program and then graduate and get a certificate. it's like a self-initiation into reality. And it all starts with care. You gotta care enough. You gotta like when you slow down in this life, you gotta sacrifice a lot of stuff. If you really want to slow down and get it and grasp it, I think it all has to do with just setting yourself up on the right foot, like putting the right foot forward in life. We all need to slow it way down. And you just take a cue from nature. Pretty obvious. It's a beautiful day. Hope you enjoyed this video. I love you guys.